It's 11:47 p.m. You're not hungry. You already checked twice. But you're standing in front of the fridge anyway, staring into the light, waiting for something inside to answer a question you didn't ask. This isn't a story about willpower. It's a story about a machine. And that machine has been running a lot longer than you think. For 300,000 years, hunger worked one very simple way. Your body sent a signal. You ate. The signal turned off. That was the entire system. No tricks. No shortcuts. But somewhere along the way, someone learned how to break it on purpose. Long before food science existed, humans already understood something terrifying. If you control what someone eats, you control what they do. In 587 BC, the Babylonian army reached the walls of Jerusalem. They didn't storm the gates. They surrounded the city and waited. 2 years passed. The food inside the walls simply ran out. Survivors later described eating leather and burying their own children. The siege wasn't a battle. It was starvation used as a weapon. And this tactic never actually disappeared. In 1918, the British Navy blockaded Germany, cutting off food imports for years. Historians estimate several 100,000 German civilians died from the resulting hunger. No invasion, no occupation, just a closed door held shut for years. But that was only the surface, because you could starve your own people, too, and simply call it policy. In 1943, colonial officials exported rice out of Bengal during a famine. Roughly 3 million people died, while the ships kept sailing. The food existed the entire time. It was simply sent somewhere else. It gets worse. Because once you understand hunger is a switch, you don't need soldiers. You just need a paycheck. In 19th century American coal towns, companies paid workers in scrip. That currency was worthless anywhere except one place, the company store. Miners could only buy food from the same company that employed them, at prices the company itself controlled. You were free to quit. You just couldn't eat if you did. But even that wasn't the most effective weapon ever built. Because the most effective weapon was never violence or wages. It didn't threaten you. It didn't need to. It was designed to make you agree with it. In the 1970s, a scientist was hired to solve one exact problem. His name was Howard Moskowitz, and the problem was simple to state. How do you make a person eat past the point of being full? Moskowitz tested hundreds of versions of the exact same product. Sugar, salt, fat, texture, each one adjusted by fractions of a percent. Then he mapped exactly how much people liked each single version. And he found something the human body was never built to handle. A mathematical sweet spot, pleasurable enough to keep you eating, but never quite satisfying enough to make you stop. Food scientists have a name for it. They call it the bliss point. Picture a windowless room. Sometime in the early 1980s, bowls of nearly identical orange snack food lined up on a table. Test panelists rating each one on small index cards. Researchers behind the glass marking down every single number. They weren't looking for the version people liked most. They were looking for the version people could never quite get enough of. This is why a bag of chips doesn't fill you up the way rice does. It's not an accident of taste. It's an engineering decision, tested, refined, and repeated for the exact same result every single time. And it didn't stop with flavor, packaging, aisle placement, where the checkout line puts candy at eye level, cartoon mascots, aimed at children as young as 4 years old. All of it built on the exact same discovery. Hunger can be manufactured, not just satisfied. The global processed food industry is worth over $2 trillion, built, in part, on a science with one very simple original goal: make people want more than they actually need. And here's the part nobody puts on the label. Your fullness signal wasn't defeated by accident. It was studied and outspent. Billions of dollars a year go into research aimed at exactly one target: your restraint, not your hunger. Your restraint, the part of you that's supposed to say enough. So the next time you're standing in front of an open fridge, at midnight, not really hungry, just looking, remember what you know now. You didn't fail some test of self-control. You met a system quietly optimized against you, one taste test at a time, for 50 years, by people who were never trying to feed you. They were only ever trying to keep you eating. Your ancestors fought wars over food because someone was always trying to take it. You're still fighting that same war. You just don't see the other side anymore.